connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
I'm still in shock, y'all. Honest to God, I am still in shock, and I apologize because y'all know me, my technical difficulties over here. I'm trying to do 7 things at once. Oh my God, it is still amazing. Hold on, I got people talking about Monday Night Football. Let me get them out of here because we don't need to talk about that because that game's going to be that game. But welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson, fresh back from Chicago. As you can see, I done brought the moment last night that y'all just saw. Can I just tell you, when you're in the midst of 12,000 screaming fans in a sold-out Wintrust Arena, to watch this team overcome every obstacle that they did, and I mean, it was crazy. It was insane. It was a night full of drama from top to bottom. You know, the Sky were down as much as 14 at one point, but they came back. They did what they needed to do. And yes, they are the 2021 WNBA champions right there. That whole entire squad from top to bottom, they believed. They believed, they did it, and now they are champions. Let me get the rest of the crew in here because we've got so much to talk about. Of course, I've got to get my man, Fox Sports 1340 AM, Mr. John Shear in the building tonight. John, what's up, man? How are you?
Congratulations, first and foremost, on the Sky winning. I'm really happy for you. Is this the first time that a 6 seed has ever won the championship in WNBA history?
You know what, John? I'm gonna have to go in the record books and look at that one up for you, bro. I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. I promise
All
you.
right, I'll
I
ask
will.
Megan because Megan will probably she knows everything.
I will find out. Let's get our Queen of Hoops in here, Miss Megan Price, in the building. What's up, Megan?
What's going on? I want to say they're not the only one, but I think the 6th seed is the lowest seed to actually win. So I think it's them and maybe another 2 teams that have gotten in on the 6th seed. But yeah, no, awesome win, great series. I will say we have not seen the last of Diana Taurasi. There is no way she goes out on that note.
I completely agree with you on that. I know that DT is going to be back. Let me get my man say it again. Ty Ray's in the building. What's up, Ty?
What's up? Congratulations, man.
Oh man, it was. I'm still like, I left out of there yesterday afternoon, and I was so elated. And I'll tell y'all a funny story. So I went to dinner last night afterwards, and I'm walking back to my hotel. Okay, and who do I see? But the general manager and head coach, James Wade, walking down McCormick Place with the damn trophy. I was like, wait, what? I was like, Coach, what are you doing? He is like, hey, I got the key to the city right here. Oh, that was amazing. And listen, I take nothing away from Phoenix. The Phoenix Mercury are truly a force. Skylar Diggins Smith, Brittany Griner, of course, Diana Taurasi. You factor in Abria Hartley. I really believe if Kia Nurse played, this would have went to 5, but she didn't. Sophie Cunningham stepped in. But I mean, at the end of the day, listen, the Chicago Sky, they have been my team. They are my team. And win, lose, or draw, I love all of them for what they were able to do. It was an amazing game. And I'm just excited and I'm happy, because they did it. They brought the championship back to Chicago. So,
do you have any idea? I think you said the media, they didn't talk to the media last night. Phoenix didn't. Why is that? Aren't they required to?
They are. The Phoenix Mercury players did not speak. So again, I got stories for days, y'all. I mean, I'll tell you another story. So we're in the post-game press conference, and of course, head coach Sandy Brondello, she came in, she spoke to the media about this, and hats off to Chicago. She gave them their flowers. James Wade comes in. So as James Wade is in there speaking to the media, here comes the MVP, Kalia Copper, with a glass of champagne, and she's like, we're waiting on our coach to celebrate. And so James goes, but then the league is requiring Kalia, because she's the MVP, they require her to stay. So James leaves, Kalia's staying. Now Kalia's answering questions. One of the owners of the Chicago Sky comes in, shuts it all down. He was like, she's coming with me because we're going to celebrate. I apologize. She'll be back in 10, 15 minutes, but we are taking her. And the league was like, wait, you can't. And he was like, no, let's go. And Khalil was like, look, I'm sorry. My boss is telling me I was just like, and as media, we're like, listen, we get it. Go celebrate. This is your moment. We understand. We got all night and nowhere to be. We want to talk to y'all. So, but yeah, then her, Candace, and my favorite couple of all time, the power couple that is the Vanderquigs, Courtney and Allie, the 4 of them sat with us for about 20, 25 minutes just talking about this. And you could just see the emotion. You could see, especially and I don't discount Kalia in this because, when she first got to Chicago, this was a brand new thing for her. She played at Rutgers to be close to her family. When she went to Washington Mystics, it was to be close to her family so her family could come to her games. You know what I'm saying? Then she got traded to Chicago. And just in the 2 seasons, she has just elevated herself to such a different level. Courtney Vandersloot is a champion by far and the best point guard I think I've seen in the WNBA, hands down. I just had this conversation. Allie Quigley has the cleanest 3-point shot I have ever witnessed in my life. If she is on the right side of the 3-point line, on either side of the court, she is money. I'm telling you this. Megan and I saw it at the All-Star game, and I was up close and personal with that. to see that again, I'm telling you, that is such a beautiful shot. Candace is an all-star. We know this. Okay? She is. And Kalia, just this season, just from last season to this season, just her transformation into bringing out what everybody else knew. It was just, I was like, first thing I said to her when I talked to her, I said, first off, North Philly, stand up and recognize who this woman is. Because, and then she got with Holly Rowe, and of course she dropped the F-bomb. I was like,
but you know what? I don't think it took away from anything that she had to say, because it was such a relatable statement, especially for people that are in sports, and you just know how hard you work. So, I felt it when she said it, and I ended up actually answering a tweet to that video, and it got retweeted quite a bit. But I was just like, I know that's right, because we work hard.
Yeah. Yes. And Holly Rowe had the best one-liner. She's like, they call her KFC for a reason, right? And I was like, hey, but yeah, I was fortunate enough. It's one of those moments where, listen, you had to be there, and I was there, and I was no way. I was like, look, y'all can throw me out the arena right now, but I was making my way onto that court. I was making my way. I'll share this one last story with you for now, and then we can talk the rest later, because we've got a lot of stuff to get to. So I was on there, and after everybody was hugging and talking, I found Coach Wade. He didn't have his son at the time. His jet was with his wife, and I grabbed him. And let me tell y'all, I about bear hugged the hell out of that man. And I told him, I said, Coach, I said, congratulations. I said, don't let anybody take this from you. He was like, Eric, they can't take this from me. And I said, all right, Coach, on to the next one. He's like, that's it. We on to the next one. That man was pure business, but it was such a great, great moment. I want all of y'all to experience that. I'm just telling you, I want you to experience it with your team, because we work so hard to get to the positions that we're in. When you have an opportunity to celebrate it with the team that you're invested in, I'm telling you, that feeling is something. I had goosebumps the entire night, just from start to finish. I actually took a moment before I left Wintrust Arena. I stepped on that court and I looked up, and I was just so thankful to be in that moment and just recognize, just to be present. You know what I'm saying? We always get so caught up in this, that, and the third. Just to be present in that moment. I took a moment to actually breathe and embrace what had just happened. So, but we got a jam-packed show to get to. I just had to.
One of our viewers chimed in and said that the Sky is the lowest seed to ever win.
Okay, so the 6th seed is in fact the lowest seed to ever win.
My boy Tyler Ingram.
Yeah.
16 and 16. They were a 500 team, but when they got to the postseason, it was like we forget about what our record was, because our time is now. And
well, I want to chime in on Allie real quick. She actually shot 96% from the free throw this year. The only other person I know to do that was Ray Allen when he was with the Bucks. So, people that say that the WNBA isn't competitive or that they're not good, who shoots 96 from the free throw? Allie Quigley.
Yeah. Every technical foul that they shot, a player can go. It was always Allie. Allie was going, see ya.
Because it was, I think she was 43-0 or something like that going into the game as far as free throws.
Yeah.
So is this a Bucks thing where it's just one and done? They're not going to repeat?
Oh, hell.
Because we know the Bucks.
No, they're very deep. No, they're very deep, but the Bucks aren't doing it again.
So really quick, Cool McCain, because I can talk about this team all night long. He wants to discuss Candace. And let me just say, Candace Parker is an all-star. I saw Candace be extremely transparent last night when talking to the media just about this moment. And, her and her daughter don't see much of each other during this time. And she has a picture in her office of when she won the title before, and it was of her and Layla. And Layla told her before she made this final decision to move to Chicago, she was like, I want another picture. And they got it. I actually have, which I can share with y'all once I pull it off my phone, because I've got a ton of pictures and I've got a ton of stuff. But, the hug when she embraces Layla, because it actually happened. And to watch Candace in the last 7 seconds just take that ball, run down the side of the court, find her father and her mother, and just hug them, that's almost a surreal moment. You know what I'm saying? We talk about those moments and we want those moments to happen. And when they do, it's just one of those moments where you're just thankful and grateful to be there, which I am. I mean, I can't begin to thank the organization. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just talking
and just to touch on Candace, when they beat Dallas at the beginning of the playoffs, I mean, I know Megan, I'm sure, was in the room with me and you. She's a team player. Like, she didn't talk about I or me or anything. She talked about we, us, the team. That's all she talked about. And whenever I got to talk to her and ask her a few things, she only talked about the team. She didn't talk about herself. She's not at all about that. She's all about the team. For being as big of a star as she is, she's all about the team. And you don't find that much with players of her caliber in their respective league, no matter what league it is. You don't hear them typically talk about just the team as opposed to themselves. So that's something that I noticed.
What I liked whenever I talked to her at the All-Star game was that we were talking about how Enrique won the MVP. And her comment was, we've been knowing about Enrique. Like, we play them all the time. So, I just like her positiveness about the ladies and taking serious the competition. And she didn't brush them off like they weren't good enough, like she was like, nah, we know about Enrique.
Oh, Candace is very transparent. Candace, I mean, listen, she's an analyst. She's a broadcast journalist. She's an athlete. She's on the cover of video games and magazines. She has her own podcast. Candace, I
guess we answered that question if she was the right one to be on the cover, huh?
I'm saying, I just, hey, I wasn't going to say anything, but, she did it. So, All right, we've got so much to talk about football-wise. And go ahead, Ty.
So I'm curious about something John said.
Sure.
Not that I'm picking Milwaukee to, I know we ain't got the basketball yet. I know we got to get the football. Not that I'm picking Milwaukee to go back-to-back, but Kyrie has yet to show up for Brooklyn. He probably won't. We don't know.
He not.
Who's supposed to beat them in the East?
Milwaukee's fluke.
But I'm saying who's supposed to beat them, though? You can say
Miami, maybe.
Miami's good. Atlanta's good. There's a lot of good teams. The East is deep this year.
Atlanta's good, but we seen that last year. What makes that Atlanta team much different than the team?
I mean, it's another year under their head coach.
Not in the East.
And Atlanta really gave him a fight with Trae Young basically having his arm falling off in that matchup. I mean, they gave him a hell of a fight, so I can't say the Bucks are going to run it back because I think it was a one and done. I think that they're more of the team we saw in the past as opposed to this past year where everybody just happened to be injured on their way each round. They just happened to have star player after star player after star player injured in front of them. And it was just kind of one of those years where that was going to happen, but I don't think that happens again.
I agree. I think if they were going to do it, it had to be last year because how many times are you going to have AD and LeBron injured at the same time? Because your Lakers are something serious this year, and I think they were something serious last year.
They are, but even if
KD wears a smaller shoe, they lose that series.
I think the worst case scenario, honestly, looking at it right now, I think the worst case scenario for Milwaukee is the finals.
I think worst case scenario is their coach.
I mean, we could say that. We said that last year, and we see what happened. I mean,
Budenholzer, huh, Megan?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being logical. Maybe nobody else is, but I mean, I'm just saying.
It's going to be crazy here.
I'm being opinionated. It's all right.
I mean, you don't. I
think Tyler.
Man act like they made a mistake and won a 7-game series.
I think Tyler Ingram just commented about 15 times about the Bulls.
They adjusted, and that's what we criticized Budenholzer on the entire season was he didn't adjust well. And they adjusted, and they beat the Suns, and they won it, and they got it. And I'm not taking that away from them. But is he going to take that over to this season as far as adjusting? Whose decision was it to make the adjustments? Was it one of the other coaches? Was it him?
I mean, you still got the best player. You still got arguably the best player in the East.
I'm not saying he's not, but he's still got to play somebody in the West.
Stick a pin. Timeout. We'll come back to it. Trust me. We got some football to talk to. We will come back to it. I promise you. We got the sip off. We got say what, say it again. We got sideline sports. Of course, you got the sports arena. We got plenty of basketball talk to get to. And I love these conversations. But let's get to some other stuff. We'll be right back in 10 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sports Arena. Your man, Eric Wilson, still high off of my Chicago Sky victory alongside Fox Sports 1340 AM, Cardiac Kane, Fin Fanatic, Sideline Sports, DBNA Television on Roku, John Shear, Megan Price, 806, and the Sip-Off, and the NBA Carousel. My man, say what, say it again. Every Tuesday night, 8:30, Facebook, YouTube, and all other social media outlets. My man, Ty Ray. Hey, Ty, did you give James my message about November 3rd? I'm going to make this announcement.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Let me make this announcement so everybody can hear me. And those who are fans of the same team that I am, please forgive me for what's fitting to come out my mouth. But I made this promise, so I have to hold up to it. On November 3rd, the Sports Arena will be hosting a one night only, and I stress.
Oh
this,
yeah, I remember now.
One night only Dallas Cowboy conversation. Our very girl Megan Price from 806 and the Sip Off, alongside James Harris from Say What, Say It Again, alongside Mike Caratenuto, Believe in the Pac-12, alongside Miss Ruth the Truth from NSPN. They will be having a conversation about their team halfway through the season. It will be all about their team. So I will not be a part of that conversation in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Except to say that halfway through the season, let's see where they're at. Let's see what happens. But November 3rd, one night only, it will be a Dallas Cowboy carousel, if you will, speaking solely about their team.
We them boys.
Whatever. Anyhow, let's talk about Baker before we go any further. Baker Mayfield, because the talk this season so far has been he's the guy who is unable. He doesn't seem to have the it gene, the clutch gene, if you will. He can put up points with the cast that is around him. You have Odell Beckham, you have Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, you have Njoku, and you have a defense that is a solid defense. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty and you get down to that pressure time, Baker Mayfield is the guy who, for whatever reason, cannot make that play to seal the deal. So my question to all of you tonight is, with regards to Baker, if this team does not make a deep run in the postseason, and I'm giving him the rest of this season to figure it out, but if they don't make a deep run in this postseason, or if he can't beat the Lamars, the Patricks, the Justin Herberts, and the Josh Allens of the world, is he done? That's my question. Are we moving on from Baker, as we've done with so many other Cleveland Brown quarterbacks since, for forever at least?
I don't think we see the end of him as far as the league, but we might see the end of him with the Browns. Now, every quarterback you just listed off, he's not better than any of them. He's not a top 10 quarterback. I don't think any of us had any anticipation of him being a top 10 quarterback. Maybe top 20, maybe. We saw some improvement last season, and I liked what I seen out of him, and I thought they were going to do better than this. Now they're going to be hitting a little bit easier part in their schedule, but he re-dislocated his shoulder, so they don't know if he's going to be good to go for Thursday night's game against the Broncos. And then they have the Patriots and then the Lions. So the Patriots are obviously going to be the toughest game for them out of that little stretch right there. And if they had Baker and if they didn't have some of these other injuries that they have, Chubb is out. They've had a couple of other injuries. Odell is out. So, it's going to be a tough run for them no matter what they do. Baker, I think he's on his way out of Cleveland.
Okay. John Shear, you always seem to have a very unbiased opinion about these situations, but he is in a division that, you like the Ravens. So I am curious to hear your analysis on this, sir.
Well, a good friend of mine once said Baker's a bum, and I agree that Baker's a bum. When we were in Canton, there was obviously a lot of Cleveland fans around us, and they were all talking like this guy's a top 10 quarterback, like they're going to the Super Bowl bar none, like Baker is the savior. That's literally how every single Browns fan there was talking. Like he's made it. They're going to pick up the 5th-year option, blah, 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 blah. Nick Chubb is hurt. He might be back this week. Kareem Hunt's hurt. I told you guys at the beginning of the year. Nobody believed me. Same thing last year. Baker's a better quarterback without OBJ. When he gets OBJ, and it doesn't make any sense, but when he gets OBJ, he's a worse quarterback. He's regressing this year. OBJ came back in week 3, and he's playing worse. I don't understand how that's possible, but he did it last year. Without OBJ, when he went down, the Browns started to take off. Without OBJ, they were better at the beginning of the season. Now he's starting to regress a little bit. I don't understand how it's possible. But anyway, Baker's a bum. I don't believe they picked up the 5th-year option yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that that's happened yet because they have that's still on the table. I mean, this team goes as far as he does because, I mean, you can't win without a quarterback, and he's their game manager, and they're going to run the ball and then play action pass. That's what the Browns are going to do. But they need Jarvis Landry. That's killing them right now. They need him bad. The tight ends, they don't do much. They need Jarvis Landry. He's the guy that Baker counts on. And the defense is good. We know that. They have their flaws, but they're good. And the team is underperforming. They should be playing better than they are. But I mean, they're not going to the Super Bowl with this guy. I know you can get to a Super Bowl with a game manager, but the AFC is too deep to be able to do that. It's just too deep. And I don't believe in Baker. I just don't.
I got you. So shout out to our man, Rob. He said the Browns haven't had a quarterback sign a 2nd-year contract in how many years? He may not be the best, but he is the best they've had in a hot minute. Okay. All right. So Ty, what do you think about that?
I mean, Rob is correct. Is he a bum? No. Is he a middle of the road quarterback? Yes, but he hasn't been relevant. They haven't been relevant. I mean, shoot, just recently, they didn't win a game, if I'm not correct, a couple years ago. Well, it's not that they didn't win a game. Maybe they won one game. But, I mean, they've been doing terrible until he got there. And so, I mean, for me to say he's a bum, like he made a team relevant they haven't been relevant while I've been alive, at least that I can remember. They haven't been very good. The best thing they probably ever did was transform into the Baltimore Ravens and then come back. Because I mean, I'm just saying, like they've never been a good team. Just like what's another team? I'm trying to think with a team just like the Detroit Lions. Since I've been alive, they've just never been good. But I mean, they made the playoffs last year. You know, I know a lot of people on this. The best thing they do really is run the football. Kareem Hunt is hurt. Nick Chubb I believe he has an injury as well. So, and that defense doesn't look the same as it looked last year. So, I mean, that says a lot, but I agree with some of the things John said. I mean, he's a game manager at this point in his career. Could he be better down the road? I don't know. I've never been very high on Baker, but I don't think he's a bump.
But just to touch on what you said, how he helped transform them into a winning team this past couple of years. No, Kevin Stefanski transformed them into a winning team.
But
because remember before Kevin
what about Greg Williams?
They did not have a winning season with Freddie Kitchens and all that train wreck at coach. But as soon as Stefanski came in, completely different team. Completely different. They made the playoffs, gave the Chiefs a fight last year.
John, I'll give you that one, but I'm sorry. Greg Williams had that defense ready to go and was part of the reason why the transformation started to happen, because I thought Greg Williams should have been the head coach before I found out all of his
transgressions. Are you talking about Bannygate? Or are you talking about Bannygate?
Before I found out all of his transgressions, I thought that Greg Williams should have been the head coach, and they gave it to Freddie Kitchens. I gave Freddie Kitchens, I'm on record saying, bruh, you got 3 games to prove to me you're going to be the guy. And when you weren't the guy, I was calling for you to hightail it out of Cleveland by week 4. So now,
my fault. 2017, they didn't win a game.
Okay, so
this is my fault. I jinxed them. I said they were winning the division. This is just blame me.
No, we're not blaming you, Megan.
I did say they were winning the division.
Well, we don't know what you, Megan. In the immortal
it was
words
good.
Of our boy, you need to be drunk.
Did you also say Dallas is winning the division? I really hope you did.
She did.
Okay,
She
good.
said Dallas is
Don't
winning.
Really
that
hope
out.
that you said that.
She did say that,
I
and
did.
we're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to them. But what I'm saying is, I appreciate what Stefanski has done, and Stefanski has shown me that he can get this team together. So that's why now we begin to look at things and say, well, where does the obstacle lie? What is the one thing that does not fit into what Cleveland is trying to accomplish, which is to be relevant? I am just of the mindset right now, and I have said this from the time he was drafted. Okay. When I did a live draft show that night, when he was drafted number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns, because I thought for sure it was going to be Saquon Barkley. Everybody named Mama did. And they drafted Baker Mayfield. And I said, huh? Who? What? I mean, my mind just went all over the place because I was like, really? This is the guy you're taking over Saquon Barkley? Now listen, to his credit, Saquon's had more injuries than Baker does. So the durability piece, okay, 1 point Baker. But we're talking about playing in a conference that right now has stronger, mentally tougher, physically durable, and in some guards more accurate than him. And you can't beat them. So there's my problem. And that's why I say I can't trust him to get the job done until he proves me otherwise. So that's where I stand with regard to Baker Mayfield. Now, let's flip the script when we come back, because I want to talk about another quarterback in the AFC North who is setting the world on fire and I think really is making a mark this season. More with the Sports Arena when we come back.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
And welcome back into the Sports Arena. I'm Eric Wilson alongside Megan Price, John Shear, and Ty Ray. So, staying in the AFC North, let's talk about El Freaky, Lamar Jackson, because for all the talk of what Lamar Jackson couldn't do or wouldn't do or wasn't able to do this season, even though teams have said they've started to figure out Lamar Jackson, clearly he just said, okay, the minute you think you know the answer, I change the question. And I think that's what he's been able to do. John Shear, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Talk to me about Baltimore and more importantly, just the impact Lamar Jackson is having right now this season, currently, today.
Yeah, I mean, he's played relatively well. I mean, he's had his some down moments this season, but I mean, they're 5-1 now. So leading the division. I mean, I believe I picked them at the beginning of the year to win the division. I mean, the defense is playing outstanding. It's something nobody's really talking about. You can give credit to Lamar all you want, but when you hold Justin Herbert and all them guys on that offense to 6 points, no matter if it's in Baltimore or wherever, I mean, 6 points is 6 points to Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. And I can go on, but 6 points that's something to behold. Nobody's giving credit to that defense. Everybody's going to give credit to Lamar. So rightfully so. I mean, he's played well, but I mean, Justin Tucker saved their bacon. The defense is playing really well. So it's really a team effort right now, but we know in the NFL, it's a quarterback league. So he'll get all the credit and he'll get all the blame when they lose.
All right. Fair enough. Ty, when you look at this, and John, you were right. You have him along with Ty actually at 13-4. Mike and I have him at 12-5, and Megan, you have him at 11-6. So, Ty, when you look at this, this is a brother who is doing, I won't say the unthinkable, but he's doing what he wants to do and continually shutting critics down.
Every time he plays good, people move the goalpost. People said he can't pass a lick. Against Indiana, John said the defense was good. They gave up 25 points to Indianapolis. But the defense is good. He threw for 442 yards, 4 touchdowns. People said, but people always they move it around. Oh, he can't throw. He throws for 400 yards. Oh, he got lucky. It's nothing he'll never be able to do to satisfy some people. They'll always have a stigma that he can't throw the football. He could throw for 600 yards in a game. People will still think he can't throw. This year, I mean, I think it was the MVP year. He threw for over 3,000 yards and ran for over 1,000. I had somebody tell me that that he can't throw, but I'm like, you have to look at the production. If your normal quarterback throws for 4,000 yards and rush for not that much, if he's throwing for over, I want to say it was 3,300 yards. I can't exactly remember. But if he throws for 3,300 yards and runs for 1,200, that's pretty much the same production.
No, I hear
he'll never be able to satisfy some people.
Right, and I get you on that, and that's where I look at it and say, okay, what you said hit the nail on the head. They continually put these obstacles in his way, but when he accomplishes that, then you move it back further to say, okay, well, you can't do this. Because I'll go back and the knock was, well, he couldn't win a playoff game. Well, he did that. Then it was, again, he's not a quarterback. He's a running back. Well, no, he proved to you that he is a dual threat. You just can't accept that. Then it was, well, you couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Well, he did that. Chargers coming in, a top-tier team in the AFC, and you hold them to 6 points? And it's not just him. It's a compilation of the whole entire team. But like we do, we give the quarterbacks all the credit. We also give them all the blame. It just seems with Lamar, we're giving him all the blame and all the blame.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're expecting him to be Tom Brady, throw 50 times a game, that's just not what he does. If we look at the league, look at the best quarterbacks in the league and tell me which one besides Tom Brady can't run.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, even though he might not, I'd be lying if I said he scrambled all the time, but he can. Patrick Mahomes can run.
Dak can run.
Dak can run. I'm sorry. Kyler Murray can run. Yeah. Most of these guys can run. Now, they don't do it as much as Lamar. Lamar is a lot of designed. It's a lot of design stuff. But I mean, I don't know, man. The guy has I put up a stat. I don't want to take about time. But I put up a stat on Facebook a while back, and I said, 10 years from now, going the next 10 years, I had Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and what's the guy from the Chargers? Herbert. I had Herbert up there. Those 4 guys. I said, who would you take? Nobody took Lamar. A former MVP of the league. Not one person took Lamar. One person took all the other people. Most people took Josh Allen. But, I mean, not one person took Lamar. Wow.
I know. And I just, like I said, Ty, you were so on point with that. It's like the minute he accomplishes that, we're going to add another 5 yards and say, okay, now do this. Okay, now do this. Okay, now do this. My question is, when the brother wins a Super Bowl, what are y'all going to say then? That's what I want to know. Because he's on course to match a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen in the AFC. I mean, honestly, right now, if you ask me, the three teams that are going to be two of these three teams are going to be in the AFC Championship game. Barring some fluke, it's going to be either Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. Those are my three. And Chargers would be a very close fourth. But I just know that as time goes on, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will get the job done. I have faith. I still have faith.
Yeah.
Unlike some who are moving away from that ship, I am still on the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce boat saying
I have one issue with those four teams though, Eric.
Sure.
Tell me who has the worst weapons out of those four quarterbacks.
Out of those four, who has the worst?
Lamar Jackson. I mean, not Lamar Jackson. Herbert has Keenan Allen.
He's got
Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Jared Cook. I mean, pretty decent.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes has, Tyreek Cheetah. He has Kelsey. What's my man name? What's the other quarterback you named? Buffalo Bills. He has who got Diggs?
Diggs, Beasley. Diggs.
And Lamar Jackson has, who does he have?
Well, no, this is where it comes in that, okay, y'all want to call him a running back, and while they're having running back woes, he's filling in. It's great that he can run the ball. Y'all want to call him a running back? Well, now he's a running back and a quarterback for a fact, and filling in those running back woes that they had, because they literally all three of their running backs were injured.
If Lamar wins, someone will say his defense carried him.
I'm just curious. You guys say, I get it. Baltimore's 5-1 and everything, but is your opinion on how Baltimore's playing or how Lamar's playing change a little bit if Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't fumble that ball and if Justin Tucker doesn't make an absolute miracle record, 66-yard field goal? Does your mind change when they go to 3-3 instead of 5-1 off of two miracle wins?
That's coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I'm just asking you if those two miracles don't happen, because that doesn't happen with the Chiefs. We know how the Chiefs operate.
Right.
And 66-yard field goal off of that delay of game, which never got called, which we all saw for 2 seconds. It was 0-0, never got called. And then the Ravens end up getting a 66-yarder. If those two miracles for the Ravens don't happen, and I know to win a Super Bowl, you got to have things bounce your way throughout the season and the playoffs. I get how it works. I watch sports long enough. But does your mindset change of the Ravens if those miracles don't happen and they're 3-3?
John,
I'm just curious.
Coming into this year, John, I'm going to say this. He was 30. He was like 30-7 as a starter.
Oh, wow.
In his career. Like this year, obviously, if you add in this year, he's 35-8. I mean, Now, granted, has he done it in the playoffs? No. Now, I'll give you that if you say he hasn't really done it in the playoffs. Even though last year in the playoffs he didn't play bad, they just lost. They just lost to some better teams.
Well, we're not about to see that. We're not about to answer that now because their stretch of their schedule is super easy. They got the Bengals this week. The Vikings.
That's not easy. The Bengals are playing well.
Yes, division games.
Bengals are playing really well.
I
know you don't like them, but they are playing well.
I'm not ready to admit they're better than what I said, but they're not a good team. Then you got the Vikings. Then you got the Dolphins. Sorry, John, y'all are not good.
Oh no. Something's wrong behind the scenes with the Dolphins. It's not the. Something's wrong.
No.
Something's wrong behind the scenes where it's kind of like Jacksonville, where something's internally wrong, and you're seeing it with how the players are reacting. Something's wrong there, and I don't know what it is, but it's starting to come out little by little each as the season progresses, I've noticed, because the team isn't playing like they should. You know what I'm saying?
Chuck, man, y'all had that cupcake schedule last year. That's why they were playing good.
No.
Chuck is saying no one answered the question.
It wouldn't change my opinion
either. It wouldn't change my opinion.
What's up, Mike?
Sorry, man. I got switched to a game today. I had a huge game. I had a lot of D1 recruits in this volleyball game, actually. So, no, Eric, I wasn't teaching you. I knew you had your Sky shirt on. I know the freaking Mercury didn't show up to the press conference. But Eric,
you're not one to back off.
Eric, you of all people know. Ty, Megan, and John, I'm going to say this to you for the first time. Eric knows how I feel about this. When Cam Newton got blasted a few years back for basically like saying a few words and walking out of the press conference.
Right.
Even the time that we were all little kids, like the only person we saw ever interviewed from the losing team was the head coach. And look, I'm not sticking up because it's the era we're in now where players have to do it. But I don't want to hear from the losing team. What do I care to say? Because I did this with Eric one time on my radio show. Remember this, Eric? I said, ask me any question. Oh, so yeah, they played good defense. You know, the way they moved the ball down the stretch, we couldn't hit a shot to win the game. Next question is a different question. I'm going to answer every question the same. I don't care to hear from the losing team, but yes, it is a bad look when, in this day and age, when they have to show up, because and as long as I've been calling games and interviewing coaches and players, if players want to talk, cool. I don't need to talk to them. I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm not questioning Phoenix. Like, personally, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying media-wise, there's an obligation, and I was curious why they didn't do it.
Right, but why back in the day?
They were mad. They were emotional. And I'm going to say this. I didn't criticize Cam when it happened with Cam. I'm going to tell
I didn't either, Megan. I didn't either.
My team leader is that emotional about losing the championship game. That's what I need out of my team leader. You better not be complacent to losing. No.
Cam was emotional. Cam was a crybaby.
I mean,
over like a little baby.
I mean, with Cam, though, you can't be Superman when you win and Lois Lane when you lose.
It happens. If I lose the biggest game of my career, I don't want to talk to y'all.
Okay,
hold on.
Let me squash this really quick when I say this. I understand where everybody is coming from, okay? But in this day and age, if you are contractually obligated to say something, then you know what? You do a Marshawn Lynch. You go up there and you say, I'm just here so I don't get fired. Or
that's one of the greatest lines of all time.
Thank you. Next question. Thank you. Next question. Thank you. Next question. Because that's part of your job description. That's part of your job.
When we were at the All-Star game,
criticize that too, though.
When we were at the All-Star game and we did the post interviews afterwards, right? And so Team USA, the Olympic team, that they lost to Team WNBA, right? And was it not the most flat post game you've ever dealt with? Like, they did not want to talk either. Like, I get it. And now I understand, you're contractually obligated, but do you really want to talk to people after you lose the biggest game of your career?
You're a professional.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Megan. I'm not disagreeing with you, but let me, you know what? Let me peel back the layer. Okay. There have been times in our lives where we have been, as media people, we have had outside things going on in our life, and we have had to still do our job.
True.
Okay. So that's why I say to you, I get it. The sports side of things, yes. Do I want to talk to the losing team that did not win the Super Bowl? No, I don't want to talk to them. But if you are obligated to be there, then be there, make a statement, and then leave, because you've done your job.
I mean,
but I will understand that.
Marshawn did it right, but I'm knocking stuff over if I've got to do it.
But we all have jobs.
People are going to criticize regardless. The biggest LeBron meme is the one when LeBron grabs his briefcase, puts his shades on, and leaves the press conference.
But we all have jobs to do. Yes, and part of our jobs is to ask questions. And if you're not there, then we can't do our job and get the emotion and the stories that we're supposed to try and get as media.
Right.
I get that.
That's fine. But here's the thing. That's my point. That was my point. That was my question in the beginning. Like, at what point did it become a media obligation for the losing team to talk? Because, like I said, as a kid growing up, even into like college, I remember you just talked to a losing team coach. I know, but you just talked to the coach. At least the coach had the answers. But
and Pop does it all the time. If they lose a tough game, he tells the players not to talk to the media and that he's got it.
Fine. And fine. So if Sandy Brondello would have spoke when she spoke in the post-game press conference and said that, I have told my players not to come out. If
she should have put it on her back.
Then we would have been cool with that. But they declined after Sandy spoke and while James was speaking. The media was told they are not coming out to play. They're not coming out to speak, excuse me. So
I feel like it sets a bad message for your team, saying you can't win, you can't be a good winner, and you can't be a good loser. You got to be both. When you win, you got to be humble, but if you lose, you still got to be able to take it on the chin, and that's just part of the game. That's just how it is. I feel like it sends a bad message to your team if you're like, yeah, it's fine for us to just avoid conflict. I don't like that type of message.
If this was during the regular season, I might have been able to give them a pass. Okay, here's my thing, John. They lost by 36 in game 3. 36 points, and they still came out and spoke. You only lost the finals by less than 10.
Right.
Okay, by less, I think it was like what, 80-74 or something, by 6. And you can't come out and speak on that. So you can come out and
game
speak
3
when you
is
get
not
your
what
ass
ended the
handed to
series.
you, but you can't come out and speak when it was a close matchup. It came down to the wire. Yeah, there might have been some bad officiating that happened on both sides, but you can't speak on that. But you can speak when you get your ass whooped by 36 points.
Because it wasn't the closeout.
I feel you.
I'm gonna just say this. I just know if it was LeBron, we would kill him.
No, now you're just being a martyr.
No,
you're just making him a martyr.
Here's what I'm saying.
John doesn't
He's
even.
not wrong.
Am
He's
I wrong,
not
John?
wrong.
They would
He
kill
is
LeBron.
not wrong.
Ty, I'm actually done killing LeBron because I killed him after he walked off the court against Orlando and couldn't shake anybody's hand, and then his comment was because I'm a competitor. This back in the playoffs, yeah. He's like, because I'm a competitor, and it's funny because Jameer Nelson and Dwight Howard watched a confetti drop on their court when the Lakers won. And after the presentation, they went up and shook every Lakers hand. LeBron is nothing but a punk, so I wouldn't even say anything because he's already a punk and a loser.
Yeah,
I'm a competitor. Shake people's hands. Shake people's hands.
But that's his point. That's his point.
And to Michael's credit, like that's his team, so he's not being biased on this. That's his team.
I said they should have showed up, but I just don't understand. It didn't become a thing until like 12, 13 years ago where you had to hear from the losing team.
But that's just like this. For as much as Isaiah Thomas did, 2 championships, all the stuff he did, what's the one thing we criticize him for? Walking off the court against the Bulls.
Right.
Sneaking past Scotty and Michael like this.
But Ty, that's
because
Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan always shook their hands after they whooped him. They showed it all the time, even before the Last Dance. Michael Jordan always shook their hands.
So petty.
What do we remember Isaiah Thomas for? Like this.
True.
No, you make a valid point. Listen, when the Phoenix Mercury have their final interview that all teams have, I hope to have the opportunity to be on that call because I know everybody's going to want to speak to, especially DT, about that because she is the leader of this team. And the questions are going to be raised. Now, if she does not show up for that exit interview or does not speak on what transpired, then it is going to have an impact. It's like, it's that age-old adage. And then I want to move to our last topic so we can get out of here. And I'm sorry, we're not talking
congratulations, they won. My pick was wrong. You were right.
No.
At least you were right.
Mike and Megan, we're not going to talk about your team tonight because we don't have a lot of time, and I want to get to this last piece.
No. I said you were right. I said congratulations. Let's move off it. The Mercury should have won, but they didn't. Candace Parker.
What I'm going to say,
awesome.
this is what I'm going to say. It's the age-old adage. You can do 100 things right, but we always focus on that one thing you did wrong.
Right.
That carries so much more weight than all of your other accolades. It's like that negative thing just elevates it to a whole nother level. Okay.
And real quick, happy birthday, Brittany Griner.
Yes, BG, happy birthday. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's right.
The sky wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, that's brutal, John.
The Jaguars wish the Dolphins a happy birthday too, John. Get off my Mercury.
Leave us in London.
Jaguars.
Leave us in London.
Jaguars.
Just move us to London and be done with it.
He's making me mad. Pick on my Mercury. Your Dolphins are trash.
All right. So listen, this last topic, let me preface my comments by
career
saying,
over, Mercury career over. Sheesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part's going to get a little emotional. So we are going to take this opportunity. A week ago today, we lost our brother, the sixth member of this crew. We lost our brother Alex Fleming. And again, I want to take time to recognize everybody who has reached out and spoken to me and checked in on me. Everybody has called to make sure I'm okay, how I'm doing, because everybody understands that Alex was a major part of all of our lives. He made all of us better. Alex always used to talk about and say that I was the reason that we are all here. Nah, a lot of it was because he was the one who reached out and pulled all of us together. So I did it for the carousel, and shout out to everybody who reached out and said, we are officially changing the name of the carousel to Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. We are changing that, moving this Thursday. We're back, and it's Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. But I wanted to give everybody the opportunity just for a very quick moment. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Just speak on the impact that he made in all of our lives. So I'm gonna go last because I've got a lot to say and I need to get it off. So Ty, I'm gonna let you go first. And if you want to, and y'all do you. So
I'll say this, man. My memory of Alex was, I remember when I first decided I wanted to get into like media, journalism, broadcast. I remember I wrote a paper and I sent it to Alex. He told me it was trash, but that's just like kind of like the relationship we had, and it was trash. But that's kind of like just the relationship that me and him had. He was a great guy. He pushed me to be better. I remember when I first used to come on this show, I would say stuff and I wouldn't have my facts, and then me and him kind of had a conversation like, Ty, you need to do this, you need to do that. But he's like I call him my accountability partner, man. And I don't think I would still be doing Say It Again if it wasn't for Alex and Eric. I mean, I said this last week. They're like Kobe and Shaq, to us. You know what I mean? So, from Say It Again, we always kind of looked up to those guys, and they were like the dynamic duo. So, for Alex not to be here, it's just crazy. And at this point, it doesn't even seem real. I don't know when it will ever seem real. RIP Alex.
Mike, I know you're busy. I'm gonna let you go ahead, and then John and Megan. So, Mike, I'm gonna let you do your thing, brother.
Obviously, I met Alex through you, and I just remember our first kind of NFL conversation. I know you got a good laugh out of it, Eric, even, last year during the pandemic, because he's, of course, easy to rip on everybody wants to rip on the Cowboys. And we'd always go back and forth, and I'd send him some messages. And at least when Jacksonville was losing and then the Bucs were bad, at least in the beginning of the season, I was happy to see that. But no, man, just working with you guys and actually getting to come, obviously, to Florida. Thank you for that, because even though I was the only one picking the Cowboys, Alex kind of had to back off what he was saying about my offensive line. So I just appreciated the conversations. And like a lot of times, because me being on the left coast, I couldn't fall asleep. And I'd stay up late and we would talk after the show, sometimes on Monday, sometimes on Wednesdays. And then one time he texted me or he messaged me and I just called him because I'm like, I'm too tired to message. You know how I am about that, Eric. So we would just chat on the phone and reading his articles. And yeah, I always appreciate him being up front, because I gave him a hard time about last year about not, including me in the carousel, because he had somebody for the Cowboys, Cardinals. I'm like, I'll talk about the Lions, man. I don't care. I can do it. But no, just every conversation with them was awesome. And you guys, obviously watching you guys throughout the years on the Magic perspective, and him getting to cover Jacksonville, and then finally, obviously, getting at Tampa. I mean, I'm with Ty, man. It didn't seem real when I heard it. And, in our conversations, I'm waiting for him to, be like, haha, you guys got all my smoke, or I got you guys all the smoke. Haha, I'm here. But unfortunately, I know it's not. But, man, it was just so great, obviously, always working with them. And just to hear his points, even though I may have disagreed with them a lot. And you know me, I never poke Eric except for every now and then when I get one or two things right. But no, it was good. I loved reading his articles. And, again, the late night conversations were fun. And, again, on the left coast, it's really not a late night conversation for me. It is for you guys if I'm keeping you up till 3. But, man, obviously I'll miss him, like everybody in the carousel saying. I mean, definitely won't be forgotten. I'm just glad that again, through this our broadcasting, and Eric, again, through your drive and keeping the sports arena going when everything's shut down, and getting to meet Alex, and obviously hanging with you, Jake and Alex, and then Ruth, and now Megan and Ty. It's just everybody came together. But yeah, you and Alex starting the Magic perspective and going forward with your show, man. I'm just grateful for all the time, and man, I'll miss him.
John, Megan, I don't know which one of y'all. And like I said, I know this is very difficult. So if you don't want to say anything, I respect that as well. So I want to put that out there.
Megan, would you like to go first or second? Up to you.
You're muted, Megan.
Yeah.
Last year when the shutdown happened, I was really sad without sports. And my dad was a sports journalist when I was growing up, and so I've always dreamed about doing it, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to break into the field. I didn't have the education for it. And I started posting every day during the shutdown. I posted iconic pictures of sports pitchers. And Alex told me, he said, man, just keep talking about sports. Keep going. No matter how long the shutdown is, just keep talking about sports. And when the NFL carousel came about, he asked me to be one of the Dallas reps. And that was my very first podcast, very first appearance, any show like that. And I was not good. I was not good those first couple of weeks, but he kept on with me and really believed in me. We all know how the season went for the Cowboys last year. So by the end of the season, I was really happy for basketball to start. And so I ended up starting my own show called The Sip Off. And he was the constant supporter, always helping me about what direction I needed to go, how to do it. And, he used to coach me on how to get sponsorship or what to say and just what direction to go with it. And it didn't matter what I was doing. He constantly shared my posts. He was always supportive. And whenever he was in the arena, he would always tell me, you're next. You're going to be here next. And it changed my life.
Mr. Shear.
Yeah, so I have obviously a lot to say. I've, expressed how much Alex means to me over social media and everything. But, May 4th, 2020, I met Eric, and I got to interview him. May 8th, I was introduced to Alex and JB. So this whole thing kind of started. I didn't know any of these people, and then we all just kind of eventually came together. But Alex and I first started talking a little bit. We'd text back and forth. And then we started to talk more, and then he invited me onto the carousel. And I had some arguments with people on there, and Alex really pulled me to the side and was like, hey, I really want you to be a part of this. And he kind of helped straighten me out and still let me be part of it, which I was grateful for. And then he saw that I was really trying in the media. I just started my show. And he was encouraging me. He's the one that encouraged me to start the journey with the Jays, which is now Sideline Sports. That was all him. He gave me the motivation. Anytime I told him that the people in media, these are established people, I'm just nobody. He said, you're somebody. You're just as good as these people. Don't think of yourself any less. And then we got to go to, we started to get closer as we, got to know each other. And then we got to go to Canton together, which I've expressed. And we were laughing about Megan. You texted us, I think the first night you texted us on the chat and said something about the WNBA. And Alex and I were like, nobody cared about no WNBA at 1:30 in the morning because we were up late. We're like, Megan, it's 1:30. We don't care about no WNBA this late. We're trying to sleep. So I remember his laugh from that. He was giggling, and that was just something that stood out. But when him and I got to the Hall of Fame Stadium and we just got to walk onto the field, him and I just stood there together and just put our arms out because we made it. We were in the museum, and he was so happy being there because he was free of all the stresses of life. He just was happy. It was the happiest I've ever seen this guy. And he wasn't just a media member. He wasn't just a guy that I talk football with. I consider this guy a brother. Family, one of the most important people in my life, one of the best people I've ever met. If you've never met Alex, he's one of the nicest, kindest people you're ever going to meet. He would give you the shirt off of his back. If he didn't know you, he would do that for you. He cared that much about people. I call him the modern day Muhammad Ali because he was the guy that wanted change to happen. He would make change happen. He didn't just sit around and talk. When all this stuff happened last year, he didn't just sit by. He actually wanted to make change. He tried to make change. He stood for the little guy. He stood for the person that didn't have a voice. And I mean, how many people this day and age really are willing to do that? And Alex didn't care. He didn't care if it hurt his reputation. He didn't care what you thought of him. He was willing to stand up for anybody and everybody that needed stepped up for. And I could go on, but I'm going to miss him every day for the rest of my life. He was that big of a part of my life. At least to me, he mattered that much to me. And like you guys said, it feels like he's going to call me up and just say, you know, hey, John, like everything's okay. Like I'm alive. And I'm waiting for that, but I know it's never going to happen. And I just, yeah, it hurts, man.
I have so much I could say about this brother, and I'm not sure if y'all saw this behind me, but I got this. And real quick, Mike and Ruth, if you're watching, I got these made, and your guys are getting them. Everything that everybody has said about Alex holds very true. I hold a near and dear special place in my heart for this brother because as much as he said I made him better, I continue to say he made me better. You know, I met Alex in Orlando. I met him at the Magic game, and I asked him point blank. I said, bruh, I said, do you want to, I'm jumping on camera real quick. I'm going to do a halftime. Do you want to jump on with me? Didn't think twice about it. He jumped on. We sat the camera, started the camera up, and next thing you know, it was the Magic Perspective. And funny story about that. When we created the Magic Perspective, I went to my boy Rob, and I said to him, I said, Rob, I need this, the Magic Perspective. And it was originally the Magic Perspective with Eric and Alex. And I said, that just doesn't sound right. And so I flipped it. And I said, I want it to be the Magic Perspective with Alex and Eric. And I put that, and Alex looked at me and he was like, well, why'd you put my name first? I'm like, who the hell cares why I put your name first, bro? It just sounds better. I'm like, trust me. I said, it works. But that was who he was. He shined his light on everybody else and didn't put the focus on him. And I still to this day am a huge advocate for that man. I refuse to let what he created in a very small window go unnoticed or not spoken about. Alex had the conviction. Alex had the drive. He had the hustle. He had the grit. He had the tenacity. I always told him, brother, you have got it. You've got that X factor. You've got that clutch gene. When you put pen to paper, there is no one who puts out more thought-provoking shit than you do. People from USA Today have taken what Alex has done and haven't given him credit for it. When Alex and John were at the Hall of Fame game, Alex called me. I'll never forget. He called me and he was like, Max Kellerman is stealing my stuff. I'm like, what are you? I mean, first off, it's, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm at work and he's upset. He is like visible. I could hear him through the phone. He was irate. He was like, me and John were just talking about this at the Hall of Fame game. How they going to twist my word and just take my words and not? I'm like, Alex, what do you always tell me? People don't steal trash. Everything that brother wrote has been utilized in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That brother has been to an NFL Pro Bowl, an NFL Super Bowl, a Hall of Fame game, and an NFL Combine, all within 2 years. You find me someone who doesn't have the backing of an ESPN or an NBC or a Fox or a CBS that can say they've done all 4 of those things in less than 2 years, because I want to meet that person. Alex Fleming did it on his own with nothing but the God-given talent that he had. and the opportunity that was presented to him. That man went to Canton broke. That man went to Indianapolis broke. But he didn't care because he was in his element. That picture that I just showed was second to last time, excuse me, it was the first time the four of us were together, Ruth, Mike, Alex, and myself. That brother got up at 4:00 in the morning after working 15 hours the night before, drove an hour and a half from Orlando to Tampa because we were meeting Derek Brooks at 7:30 in the morning. Me and Mike were going over the Skyway Bridge, and Alex calls us. Where y'all at? Like, bro, we just getting over the bridge. Oh, I'm already here. I'm like, all right, Mr. Big Man. But that's how driven he was to be known. And the day he got in to the Tampa Bay media to cover the Bucks versus the Falcons, I called him that morning, 9:00 in the morning. I said, being politically correct, I said, Negro, where are you at right now? He's like, I'm awake. I'm like, no, where are you? He's like, I'm in Tampa. 9 a.m. The game wasn't until 4:00. But that's how driven and dedicated he was to his craft. Alex always used to say to me, E, I don't want to let you down. And I said, Alex, you can never let me down. Never. I said, because brother, pen to paper, you're one of the best. And like I said when I wrote about him, the greatest compliment I ever got from that man was when we were at Super Bowl. And I took off running like a bat out of hell, getting into a place that I knew we belonged. And I was there. And he said, damn, I thought I was Batman, but you Superman. I said, nah, bruh. I said, it's about us getting in the room and showing people who we are, letting people know whether you love us or you hate us, damn it, you ain't going to ignore us. My brother, you will be missed tremendously. I miss you every single day. I was just in Chicago watching the Chicago Sky win their championship. And I thought about you because you always told me, E, go get it. Go get it. This is your time. This is your moment. You've earned it. You have made me better. And when I was in Chicago, I knew he was with me. He'll always be with me, as he will with all of us here at the Sports Arena, the NFL Carousel, the Sip Off, the NBA Carousel, Say What, Say It Again. Chris Purtle has reached out to me. Mark Moses has reached out to me. Hell, the Buck Report reached out to me. That's the kind of person that Alex Fleming is. He has made an impact in all of our lives, and we truly are forever grateful. My brother, I love you. You will be missed. But I make this promise to you. None of us will let you down. And thank you for being in our life.